Hi there, I'm Kira. Welcome to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a yoga teacher here in New York City, and it is summertime and it is real hot. It gets so hot in my city, and I noticed this shift in my classes where everyone just seems like they're carrying a lot more. So today I have a cooling flow for you to beat the heat, no matter where you are in the world. If it is a hot day or you're just feeling like you're carrying a little heaviness with you emotionally, this is a really soothing practice. We're gonna stay close to the ground to beat the heat and move in a lot of very fluid, circular ways to calm your nervous system. So all you'll need for your practice today is a yoga mat, probably 2 blocks. And if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, like, comment, so I know what you want to see more of. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the mat. Let's begin in child's pose. So for child's pose, you can bring your knees together or as wide as the mat for a little more hip opening. Big toes together, sink your hips back to your heels. And lay your forehead comfortably down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Big sigh out through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose. Sigh out through your mouth. One more time, cooling breath in. Smooth breath out. And as you continue to breathe, just imagine that you could drink your air like water through a straw. So visualize drinking some air in from the tip of your tailbone. See it move up your spine, out through the crown of your head. Just visualizing the breath flowing like water up and down your spine. If your forehead's touching the mat, gently rock it a little side to side, massaging your third eye point. And walk your hands off of the mat over towards your right side. Left hand might come on top of the right, feeling a side body stretch through left side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Walk the hands over to the left now, moving slowly, conserving energy to beat the heat. Right hand on top of left. Breathe in. And out. And then walk your hands back to center. And draw yourself forward to tabletop position. And we'll come into some cat and cows. So spread the fingers, root your hands down. Inhale, drop the belly, gaze up for cow. Exhale, round your spine for cat. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Cat and cow, keep it going. Breathing in and out through your nose if possible. This way of breathing really helps to calm the nervous system. And just focus on connecting one breath per movement. It's an inhale for your cow and exhale for your cat. And then we'll free this up, just taking some circles with the hips in one direction, letting the head and the neck move along with them. Just moving your spine like you. So we'll be exploring a lot of circular movements today. Circular movements are very soft, very languid and fluid. Go the other direction. So we'll really try to embody the spirit of flow in this sequence. moving like water to be a little more flexible, a little softer. Take a lighter touch to contrast the heaviness of the hot summer season. Come back to center here. And then from here, you're going to tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your first downward facing dog. So from here, pedal through your legs a couple of times, bend one knee and then the other. And just feeling into the backs of your legs. Good, and then drop the knees down once again, back to tabletop. Hydrants. So you're gonna lift your right leg out to the side like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And then you're just gonna kick your leg back and then draw the knee in towards your chest. Bring the knee out to the side. So taking some circles with that leg to open up your hip. Keep circling a few more times. Loosening up the hip joint and then reverse. So you'll kick your leg straight back, draw the knee around, kick it back, draw it around, soft bend in the elbows here. So keeping everything really soft and easy. And then come back to tabletop, we'll switch sides. So now your other leg moves out to the side, hydrant pose, kick the leg back, and then draw the knee towards the chest, lift the knee, kick it back, circling your leg within the hip joint. We'll do one more like this, and then we'll switch. So leg kicks back, knee moves around. Couple more circles, opening up the hips. And then set the knee down. Moment in child's pose, hips back to heels. Find your calm and steady breath. So when the weather is hot, and just the nature of the summer season can make us feel not grounded, right? The season is fiery, a little more fast-paced, usually busy. So practicing poses close to the ground can help us not only to cool down, but reconnect to that solid ground underneath us. From here, make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll continue our journey into the hips. So lift your right leg high, bend your knee, open your hip, take some circles with your ankle. And then we'll come into a lizard lunge. So you'll step your right foot outside of your right hand and stay on the ball of your back foot. Just begin to shift forward and back. And this is where you might bring your blocks into the equation. And then we'll shift the hips back to the heels. Front leg lengthens, kind of a pyramid pose. Front knee rebends back and forth. Pyramid to lunge. Are you breathing? Sometimes I have to remind myself. So let this practice be very intuitive. If you want to linger in one shape for a beat, take those liberties. And then when you're ready, you're going to make your way back to downward facing dog. And we'll switch. Left leg will lift. Bend the knee, open the hip. Take some ankle circles. Lizard lunge is where you're headed, so that left foot will step outside of the left hand. Lizard lunge. Hands might find blocks. And you'll start by just shifting forward and back. Thought the hair down was a good choice, but sort of getting in my way. Anyway, it makes me feel summery. It's fine. We'll shift the hips back to the heels from here. Front leg lengthens. Front leg rebends back and forth. Lunge to pyramid. Releasing tension from the back of your legs. Just a few more rocks. So with the summer season being busier, it's also a time when our routines fall by the wayside, and taking a moment to practice, even if it's a short one, is just a great way to reconnect with yourself. Touch back into that introspective mode. Let's meet back in a down dog. Take some petals through your legs. Just shake that off. And then you'll roll forward to a plank pose. Rolling forward to plank, slowly lower down to your belly, slow as you can. And then you'll tent your fingers wide on either side of the mat. So move the blocks out of the way if they're in your way. Come onto your fingertips. Give your shoulders lots of space. And then as you inhale, pull your chest forward and up any amount. Exhale, lower down. A few more. Inhale, pull the chest forward and up. Exhale, lower. Couple more. So you might be coming up high, you might not be. Just moving your spine in a wave-like motion. Any level of height that feels good. The next time you come down, bring your hands by your ribs and press yourself back to hands and knees, table tap. So from here we'll come into a bit of a flow. You can stay where you are. I'm going to turn to face you just so you can see this better. So you're going to grab your blocks and put the blocks underneath your hands. And then you're going to bring your right leg straight out beside you. Sole of the foot facing down so that your knee and your extended leg foot are in line. And from here, just start to rock forward and back. Anchor that right foot down, so feel that stretch through your inner thigh as you do that. And then soften your right knee. Find some circles here, circling through the hips. Again, if it feels good to linger in one spot, stay there. Go the other way with your circles. And then come back to stillness. We'll add thread the needle, but keep it flowing. So reach your left arm up. Take a big breath in. And on the breath out, thread the left arm under the right. Keep it flowing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread. 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. Opening your upper back, your thoracic spine with this movement. And then bring both hands down to the blocks. From here, we'll come to a modified side angle. So you're going to bend your right knee and then turn your right toes out and come to stand on your knees. So if you need to pad your knees at all, always feel free to pop a blanket or a towel underneath. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh and reach your left arm up. Modified side angle pose, close to the ground. So from here, we'll take some shoulder circles. So we'll just reach that top arm back and around, taking big circles, exploring the range of motion in your shoulder. And then go the opposite direction. And without judgment, just observe if the shoulder's moving with more ease in one direction of movement. And then let it go. Bring both hands down to the blocks, back to tabletop. We'll repeat that all on the left. So left leg shoots out to the side. Knee and foot are in line. We begin by shifting forward and back. Inner thigh opening here, breathing. And then finding circles. So soften the left knee. Take some circles. Just flowing breath through these movements like water. Go the other way. Rinsing out what isn't needed. What's holding you back, weighing you down. Come back to stillness. We'll add thread the needle. So right arm reaches up, big breath in. Breath out, thread it underneath. Keep it going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread. 2 more. And if this feels a little tight, you know, it's a pretty constricted shape I'm asking you to explore, so just breathe through it. Know you're finding that really good opening through this work. Both hands to the blocks. Modified side angle is where we're headed. So we're gonna bend the left knee, turn the foot forward, and bring the left forearm to the thigh like a shelf. Other arm reaches up. And then from here, we find some circles with that top arm, circling the arm, noticing how it's feeling compared to the other side. I think I'm smacking my plants. Can't really see what's behind me. They don't mind. Go the other way. Very nice. Good. Both hands down. So you're back in tabletop. I'm going to shift back to the front now, although you can stay where you are. So from here, we're going to come into dancing camel. So come to stand on your knees and then tuck your toes. So this is a flowing back bend I call dancing camel. So you'll reach one hand back to catch your heel, and the other arm will reach up as you lean back. And then switch. And just keep flowing through this a couple times. If you can't catch your heel, just think about reaching back behind you. Could look something like this. As you sway in the wind, explore some back bending goodness, relieving tension from your back. Nice. And after your last one, you'll come down to the mat, back to tabletop position, and take a child's pose, knees together, hips to heels. Balasana. And let this compression of the thighs to the belly move the breath into your back. See if you can feel the breath expansive in your back body. From here, we'll move into half pigeon pose, Kapotasana. So meet me back in a tabletop position. And you'll bring your right knee behind your right wrist, square off your hips, and then slide your back foot back and fold over your bent leg. And really give yourself a lot of support here. So maybe begin with forearms on blocks. We're going to be here for about 8 breaths in this deep hip opening shape. So give yourself what you need here. One of my teachers always says when the body is supported, then the body can relax. So support might look like a block wedged under that right glute. Anything to help you feel that you are aligned in the center of yourself. Preparing to move into the other side slowly and gently. Bring your hands down. Slide your right leg back. We're going to meet in tabletop. So before we switch, just return to those hip circles, moving your body in any way that feels good. Just letting whatever you've dredged up in that right hip flow through your system. Our body is mostly made of water. So we have this ability to be flexible, to cool down, to release. It's always inherent in us. Let's come into the other side. So you'll bring your left knee behind your left wrist, square off the hips, slide the back leg back and come on down. And then once you're here, just settle in, 8 breaths. And this side might feel different than the other side, so give yourself whatever support is needed on this side. And when you first get into pigeon, you might notice the fire element, right? That intensity or strong sensation of stretch in your hip. And try to throw some water on that fire. Deepen your breath. Soften your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Trying to cool down whatever you're feeling here. And then we'll let it go. Slowly come back to tabletop. No rush, no rush. Once you're there, take some circles, circle around. Move the energy through. And then find your way to seated. Janu Shirsasana pose. So your left leg will extend. You'll bend your right leg like a seated tree pose. From here, reach the arms up. Breathe in. On the breath out, you're going to fold forward, hinging at your hips. Pulling the chest forward. No need to touch your toes. And then just begin to soften it, round your spine. Start to find more of that yin element. There's a whole form of yoga, or style of yoga rather, called yin. It deals with the concept of yin and yang. And in Chinese philosophy, where that comes from, yin is the moon side, the softer side of us. The yang is the fiery, more active sun side. So just dropping into that yin zone, round and soft. And then slowly come up. From here, our transition is stargazer pose. So you're going to bring your right hand behind you, reach your left arm free, and then you're just going to kind of sweep the hips up and look up, reach up like you're gazing at a starry night sky. And then bring the hips back down. We'll switch. So right leg is long, left leg is bent. Janu Shirsasana, arms up, breathe in. Breath out, hinge forward. Feel that lengthening through your right hamstring. And then take all of that and just soften it. Let your spine round. Dropping in. Just cooling down the intensity. So the heat can have lots of effects on us. You know, it can make us irritable, cranky. It can also make us feel a little bit of that brain fog. So we have to change our practice for the seasons, right? When it's oppressively hot out there, you know, we have to change the way we practice. Stay closer to the ground where it's cool, move a little more slowly, you know, work with the seasons rather than against them. Let's slowly come up. Our transition is stargazer. So left hand tense behind you, right arm is free. Pull the hips up. Gaze up, spread out, stargazer. And then come back down. All right. From here, we'll come onto our backs, make our way into Shavasana. Before we do, we're going to take a spinal twist. So come onto your back And draw your right knee into your chest, left leg long. Guide the knee across you towards the left, spinal twist. And feel like your shoulders are heavy and your leg is light. Breathing through your twist. Slowly slide onto your back, switch sides. Left knee in, right leg long. Take the knee across you, spinal twist. And then come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest, Apanasana. Give yourself a squeeze. Rocking side to side, massaging your low back. And then extend your arms and legs long. And for today, reach your arms overhead. This is a pose called pentacle. So you're just going to spread out like a human starfish, essentially. And take your final rest. So we've moved in circles, bent and twisted our bodies, and now we just land in this really open shape. Now that we've opened all the channels so that the prana, the life force, can flow through our body with ease. Let's begin to deepen the breath. Deep breath into belly. Another sip of air into chest. Big sigh out your mouth. Breathe into belly. Rise breath into chest. Sigh it out. One more time, breathe into belly, into chest. Sigh it out. Let your breath return to normal and just feel the breath moving through your body like water. Moving around, rinsing out any areas of tension or holding that remain. Cleansing and cooling your entire body and nervous system with your healing breath. If you have the time, you could stay in Shavasana for as long as you wish. But if you need to move into the next part of your day, we'll slowly transition out of the shape together, just wiggling the fingers and the toes. Very slowly bending one knee and then the other. Drawing the knees into your chest and giving yourself a squeeze. And from here, roll onto your right side. Make a little pillow for your head with your right arm. And then slowly come back to a comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed or the eyelids soft. And then bring your palms together to prayer at your heart. And bowing your chin to your chest in gratitude to this practice, to yourself, for making the time to go inward, to slow down, cool off. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with me. Namaste.